Lots of ads for refugees, but not much of a plan. I'm Brian Lilley with TheRebel.Media. Are you wondering if the new Liberal government has a clue on how they really plan on bringing 25,000 refugees to Canada from Syria by January 1st? Well, you're not alone in that. Plenty of Canadians are wondering, and now details have leaked out strategically to select journalists, and there's going to be a lot more wondering. First off, word of an ad campaign. Remember, the Liberals would complain all the time about Conservatives using taxpayers' money to advertise to Canadians about all the good things that they were doing with our tax dollars, right? Well, the Liberals, one of the first things they're going to do, one of the first details leaked out, a $500,000 digital ad campaign to target you on Facebook and other websites to convince you this Liberal plan is good, compassionate, safe. And then they'll spend $130,000 to monitor the effects of the ad, see if it works, changes public opinion. So what's the plan? Don't think you want the details. We've been talking about how tough it will be to bring 25,000 refugees to Canada in 8 weeks, then 6 weeks. Turns out they're not moving anyone to December 1st, and then they plan on flying 900 people a day or more to Montreal and Toronto. They haven't booked any planes yet, but don't worry, they can move 900 people a day at one of the busiest travel times there is. So what happens once the refugees get here? Well, they will be screened. We normally do that before they arrive, but now we'll do it here. And according to some reports, nurses and doctors will be on standby as plane loads of people arrive, and they'll be able to process 16 people an hour, we're told. Let's see, 16 people an hour, 60 minutes in an hour, that's one person every 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Sounds like a thorough health check, don't you think? According to CTV, if the people coming off the planes pass all these screenings, they will automatically become permanent residents. Canada brings thousands and thousands of refugees a year to this country, and we bring them from hellholes around the world, but once they get here, they're not permanent residents right away. This is not the normal course of events. So after all of that, what are we going to do with these people? Where will they go? Well, my friend Jonathan Wade, a veteran who lives near Quebec City, is telling me that soldiers living on the base north of Quebec City at Valcartier have been going nuts because of a rumor that started and spread pretty widely that said they were going to move single soldiers out of their barracks. National Defense is trying to quash that rumor, but the government has talked openly about housing refugees on military bases like Valcartier in Quebec and Trenton in Ontario. We're now being told Cornwall, Ontario, and Three Rivers in Quebec will house large numbers of refugees. And my big issue with all of this has always been security. We've talked about how ISIS has said they want to plant their fighters among the refugees. The 31% of those living in Syrian refugee camps who told a Qatar polling firm they don't want ISIS degraded at all. The Lebanese cabinet minister who said, his country is hosting a lot of refugees and said 2%. 2% of all the refugees have connections to ISIS. And we think we can screen these people quickly? The leaked documents say that there will be CSIS agents and border agents overseas on the ground. Well, how many people are they going to have to process and how quickly? Normally it takes months or years to do a proper screening. The medical screening is one person every 3 minutes and 45 seconds. What about security? Are they going to take a full 5 minutes? Because think about this, if someone dupes the CSIS and border agents and gets to Canada, they're going to be permanent residents before anything can be done to fix the situation. This Liberal refugee plan isn't based on what's best for Canada. It isn't based on keeping Canadians safe while welcoming those in need. It's about meeting an arbitrary deadline picked out of thin air in the middle of a very emotional time during an election campaign. We started the petition at RefugeePause.ca to call for a slowdown, some sanity on this file. Tens of thousands of Canadians have already signed. If you believe in sanity on this file, I ask you to do the same. Sign now, RefugeePause.ca.